Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you for joining me on our Facebook Live tutorial. If you're here with me, just say hi, either YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook. And if you are joining me on Instagram, say hi as well. So let's wait for the eyeballs. Hi, Renee. Thank you for joining me. I apologize for being a little late. And I also want to give you just a little heads up that I am not feeling very good today. My allergy has been bothering me big time for the last 2 weeks. So if you see me out of breath or fidgeting, it's because I'm itching and I'm teary and I have my tissue paper ready. I think a year ago, I had the same situation coming on live, had the same situation. So just bear with me, okay? If I have to take a breath to speak, or if you see me itching or fidgeting, okay, it's because I'm dealing with this severe allergy situation. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm a Facebook user. I can't really see very well as well. So if you're not clicking on the StreamYard link, I can't see your name. So type your name, okay? Tasha and Renee, and I think we have I can't see your name, I'm so sorry. So Siobhan. Anyways, okay, for those of you who's joining me the very first time, my name is May Yo Silvers. I'm the owner of M2 Hospitality, a multiple six-figure profit event planning company, and I am also the founder, event mentor, and coach for Events for Anyone, where we provide a mentorship program to event planners like all of you to help you start and grow your event planning company into a multiple six-figure profit business. If I have to take a pause, it's not because I'm also out of breath, it's because I'm also having some concentration issues from the medication I'm taking to combat all this. So it's either I don't take medication and I got worse, or I take medication and I become a little slow. All right. So for those of you who are here with me, I appreciate you giving me your time. I know it's lunchtime for you, and you know, you are committing to yourself and your business. So I'm going to cut to the chase. What are we going to be talking about today? Which is do this one thing to attract your ideal clients. What is this one thing that I'm referring to? This one thing that I'm referring to is honesty is the best policy. So let's make it a little bit interactive. How many of you in a sales conversation, when you are when you get on this sales call with your potential client, in your gut, you saw certain red flags, or in your gut, you feel that you're not so sure if you want to work with this person, but you continue to work with this person anyway. And then after that, you regretted working with this person. How many of you actually had a situation like that? I can tell you that I had situations like that, and I made the same mistake a few times, even though I knew that I made that mistake the very first time. But I second guessed myself, my gut instinct, and I did it again the second time, the third time, and every single time I came back to the same answer, that I should have listened to myself, to my gut feeling. Okay, so so let me know how many of you actually had that kind of situation before. That I won't say that this is just for business. This is in your personal life as well, that it could be applicable. Okay, so I have been receiving, some the members inside my program and also in the Facebook group have shared with me that after working with the client, after they got paid and then working with the client, what happened was they realized that it's no longer a fun process. It became almost like an ordeal to have to continue to work with this particular person who paid you for your services. Okay. And they are nitpicking on every single thing that you do. They couldn't make up their mind, or they give you information very late and you have to go chase for the information, and everything becomes an emergency, and you have to chase for payment, and you have to remind them about payment. You have to, basically it's like pulling teeth. Basically it's the whole process of planning this event is suck up a lot of your energy, and you regret it, basically, working with this particular client. How many of you have experienced that when you started working, initially at the sales conversation, you thought that it was perfect. You thought that this client, I like to work with them, and everything is going to be fine, right? And then when it comes to working after the contract is signed, when it comes to the actual planning itself, it became a nightmare. Okay, it became a nightmare, and you regret, and then you make that mistake again and again. So after several times myself, when that happened, I realized that there's one thing I didn't do in that sales conversation that has led me to keep having this kind of situation experience after the client has paid me, and it wasn't a fun experience for me and for them. The one thing that I narrowed down was I wasn't being honest with myself, and I wasn't asking the potential client, to be honest with me. So this is what happened. Okay, when we go into a sales conversation, we know that there is a sale about to be done. Okay, that we want to close these sales. And then so two things can happen. Why this type of situation happen is when you go into the sales conversation, you haven't had a lead for a long time, you haven't booked a client for a long time, and I'm so sorry, and you needed the money. Okay, you needed the money, and you ignore your gut feeling about this particular person, and you don't ask enough questions. On that call, you're in a hurry to tell them what you can do, and then send them a contract, have them pay, and call it a day. So a few things is happening here, because you're afraid to ask questions, because you're afraid that the longer time you stay on the call, the higher the probability, there's a possibility that they do not want to book with you. And your goal in that call is to close the sale because you needed that money. And you are not going to jeopardize anything you're not going to do anything that will jeopardize the sale. So you don't ask questions. You don't ask too many questions. You just tell them what you can do for them. Hopefully they will hire you based on what you say you can do for them, and call it a day. Okay, that could lead to a nightmare client. Number two is, in that conversation, because you not only want to get the sale, but you truly want to have the opportunity to do what you love, which is to plan events. And you truly believe that you can help this person, okay, after they share with you what they want, and you ignore your gut feeling that based on how this person communicate with me, I'm not so sure this person, it's my type, but they hire me for my expertise, so I can deliver the expertise. So let's get the sale. okay, and call it a day and start working on the event. How many of you can relate to these two scenarios? Okay, I want you to really think about that, because if you're unaware of what is going on in that conversation, unaware of your own thoughts, unaware of what was being spoken in that sales conversation that led to having a nightmare client, then you will not be able to make any changes in your approach. Okay, so when I realized that why do I keep having this kind of experience that I really don't want, that's when I realized that I had these two things going on. Number one, I really want that sale. And number two, I truly believe that I can help this person. Okay. Nothing wrong to have these two things going on in your head when you're in a sales conversation. But just pay attention to this, because if you ever come to this situation that you're having to deal with nightmare client again, this has to come to a stop. So I've finally come to the conclusion that I'm not going to deal with this anymore. How can I counteract these two situations that I really want the sale and I really think I can help them? So I changed the way I conduct a sales conversation. What I did was I become very, very, very open and honest in the sales conversation, right? I decided to switch my role, as I have mentioned to all of you. When you're in a sales conversation, your role is a sales consultant, okay? Your main goal is to have a conversation that will eventually lead to your potential client to tell you that, yes, you are the person for me, and also lead to you telling yourself, yes, I want to work with this person, without letting you come to this conclusion by being influenced by you need the sale and I can really help this person. You have to come to this conclusion based on how you feel the conversation is going, and not influenced by these two factors, which is I really need the sale and I think that I can help this person. Okay, so how do I do that? Okay, how do I do that? I become brutally honest, very, very, very honest in the sales conversation. And I also create an environment that will encourage my potential client to be exceptionally honest with me. When we're two strangers meeting, okay, either face to face or on a phone call or on Zoom, it's just our human nature to be polite and professional. Nothing wrong with that. Having said that, if we know the work that we do as event planners, it involves emotions, right? Not only just our skills. And it also involves quite a long working period. So it's just like we're dating this person for extended period of time. We have to work with this person for extended period of time. So what is the most important thing that you must make sure? That I like them and they like me. By putting on your best behavior, when I say your best behavior, that means you are not being authentically you, okay? You're not voicing your concerns, and you're letting I want the sale, and you're letting the people pleaser part of you that I can help everybody, everything is going to be fine, come in and influence your decision whether you want to work with this person. Is going to be disastrous. It's not sustainable in your business. So what I do in my own sales conversation is I listen to what the potential client tells me they need, and then I take a moment to really think, can I realistically help this person in terms of my experience and my skills? Okay, so they want this end product, which is this event. I evaluate my skills and my experience if I can actually deliver the end product. A lot of times the answer is yes, right? The answer is yes, because all of you are very talented event planners, decorators, designers. Then I ask myself, do I see myself hanging out with this person, okay, for extended period of time? When I say hang out, that means have constant communication with this person. Like, do I like their vibe? Okay. And I have now, after my own personal experience, I have actually said no to a few of the potential clients I had conversation with, that I actually have to turn down the opportunity to work with them. And not because I couldn't do what they asked me to do, nor do I not have the availability, or their budget does not meet. They check all the boxes. Okay, I can do the event, they have the money to pay me, and I'm available to do the job. But I still said no. And I am being very, and why would I do that? Because I know if I don't honor what makes me happy, what brings me joy in working with this person, I wouldn't show up in my best version. I wouldn't be serving them with 100% of my heart, and my work will reflect that as well. When you do your work using just your expertise and your experience, you do a great job. But when you do your work using your expertise and your experience and with the heart and the passion and the pride and the emotions you have for this particular person, the work is going to be exceptional. So I have to be honest with myself and say that even though I can do all these things for this person, I have to turn down this opportunity because something about this person I can't really put my finger to. I don't want to work with this person. Okay. And I will be honest with this potential client and say that, I can do all this, but I don't think I'm the best person for you. And if I could articulate it without making them feel bad, which is always my main goal in the conversation, we want to be very honest and open. And I encourage them to be honest and open with me. I can tell them things like, the reason why I don't think we are a good match is because I have boundaries about certain things. And based on our conversation, I'll ask certain questions, such as, how do you like to work? Do you like to communicate by email? Do you like to get on a phone call? Do you prefer text message? And if they say that, no, I like to talk all the time on the phone, I already know, no, this person is not for me, because I don't like to talk on the phone. Number one. Okay. So that is one of the questions I ask. I also ask question like, how, in your life and also at your work, how are you when it comes to meeting deadlines? Okay. Do you always keep to the deadline and you never miss a deadline, or you're always a last minute scrambler, or someone always have to remind you about what you need to do? And they will ask me, why do you ask questions like that? And I said, that's because it's going to help me understand how you function. Because working with me, I will give you a timeline, and the timeline will have a deadline for your deliverables, what I will need from you. And if you can't give it to me and you don't communicate with me in a timely fashion, it will make our working relationship extremely tumultuous. That means I have to hunt you down. I have to chase you. You feel that I'm a bother, and you feel stressed that I have to give you all this information by the timeline. So I don't think that you deserve to be working with someone like me, nor do I want to work with someone like you, because our working style is not a good match. This whole planning process should be pleasurable, should be stress-free, should be peaceful, should be joyful. So that's how I do business. And a lot of times my potential client appreciates when I'm being so honest with them. And I encourage them to be dishonest with me. How many of you here, okay, that I just narrated what I do in a sales conversation, ask this type of questions in your sales conversation? How many of you actually do that? Share with me. I'm pretty sure that quite a few probably ask some questions, but not as intense as this or as in-depth as this. Because again, it is not easy to go into a sales conversation not influencing your decision to work with this person. You are not attached to the money, number one, and number two, you are not attached to your innate personality that you want to help everybody. It's extremely difficult to defy those two instincts and actually be fully present in the conversation by honoring yourself first. When I say honoring yourself, is asking those questions that will clearly communicate your boundaries that you will be setting when you're doing business. Okay, a lot of times we don't set those boundaries because we are a people pleaser. We do not want to have a confrontational conversation, especially a sales conversation. So we deny what is going to make us happy and bring us joy and peace when we work with a perfect client. So we are afraid, okay? We are afraid. So we are afraid of being honest because we have this perception by being honest, we're going to not book business and we will not make money, which is true. I'm not going to lie. But if you're not being honest, you will continue to work with the wrong type of people. And what is the message that you're sending out? Because this message that you're sending out is give me more of these people because I am not saying no to these people. So the universe will give you more of such people. So my strategy in every sales conversation is be extremely honest about what I want and what I like. And also create an environment for the potential client to tell me what they want and what they like. So, and you have to explain to them why it is important to have this conversation, not just sharing the vision for the event, but their working style, their personality. Okay. So they can then understand why you're asking this type of questions. Not only that, this is the point where you're actually having a sales conversation. I start this process way ahead in my marketing message. Okay. For M2 Hospitality, I will put on my marketing message on my social media. I'm extremely clear in communicating who I like to work with, what type of person will work well with me, and I am not afraid to repel. So my marketing message, it's not just to attract, but to repel. Okay. When I write on my marketing message for M2 Hospitality, I will write something like, if you are a person, if your personality is you like to figure everything out yourself and you don't mind spending the time to go do the research yourself, then I'm not a good fit for you. Okay. If you have a personality that you do not trust other people, you find it hard to trust other people, then I'm not the person for you. Because when we work together, you have to trust me to deliver what you want me to deliver. If you are a person that do not pay attention to timeline and you do things at your own time frame, I'm not a person for you as well. So I will be very clear on my marketing message about who will be the good fit for me and who's not. So I would not only say that you're not a good fit for me, I will also say something like, if you like someone, if you are someone whom you value your time, and you know that when you find the right person to do your events for you, you trust this person to do the job and not micromanage, I'm the right person for you. If you work well by having a weekly email that tells you what you need me, what I need you to give to me, what I'm doing for you, then I'm the right person for you. So I have to be so clear from the very beginning on my marketing message. So when this person comes on the sales call for me, sales call with me, they already know what kind of person I am, my personality, okay, how I work, how I speak, how I function, how I think, my expectation of my ideal client. So if they read my marketing message and they say, no, I don't want to work with someone like that, no, then they wouldn't even get on a call with me. So my first vetting process is on my marketing message, on my social media. I'm extremely clear about that. Okay. And then they already vet themselves in or vet themselves out. And then they come on a call with me and it becomes a second round of vetting. Okay. So that's how I'm able to create a business that's sustainable, especially for M2 Hospitality, because they're paying me top dollar and we're working for extended period of time, a lot of times 6 months to 9 months. So I cannot stand the idea of being or have to put up with someone for this long when we just do not jive. Okay. Now, there will come a time that sometimes everything looks so perfect on paper, and also when you're having the conversation at the very beginning in the sales conversation, even though they are being very honest with you and you're being very honest with them, you all come to agreement, yes, we're perfect for each other, and then you sign a contract and they pay you. Something could happen along the way that you no longer is the good fit, but that's okay. That's okay. But you already had the honest conversation at the very beginning that you can say, hey, listen, our initial agreement is this. So what happened here? So it's not like they are going into a blind date or a blind arrangement with you. Expectations are extremely clear. Boundaries are already set and communicated and agreed. So there is no blind siding here. Okay. So it's open to have, you got to continue to have the open communication. So now, is this something that you're doing when you're working with your potential client? I'm pretty sure, especially when you are at the beginning of your business, you do not want to have any bad reviews, and you also do not want to turn down the business because you really want the business in terms of money, and you also want to be able to use the opportunity to showcase your work and get testimonial. Just know that if you have done these mistakes, it's okay, but be fully aware now moving forward after you have watched this video. When you're having conversations like this, how honest are you with yourself? Okay, about what you should be honoring that gives you peace and joy to work with this person. How honest are you encouraging your potential client to be? Okay, and then make a decision and be bold enough to ask to your potential client. So these are my guidelines. These are my boundaries. I do not answer any emails, phone calls, text message over the weekend, or on my off days. How do you feel about that? I do not pick up many phone calls after this time, after office hour. How do you feel about that? Okay. And when we have a set payment date, I expect the payment to come in. Otherwise, I will halt all service. How do you feel about that? You got to be bold to ask these type of questions. Okay. If you don't, they are on another planet, you're on another planet. Everybody is assuming something that nobody knows what's assuming. Who is assuming what? Or everybody's assuming that we're assuming the same thing. That's when you make an ass out of you and me, right? That's how assume is spelled. So I hope that today's session, it's not some breakthrough strategy that I do to attract my ideal clients, but this is what I have found for myself has worked extremely well. When you are bold enough and honor yourself enough to ask this type of questions and create an environment for your potential client to also be extremely honest about their expectation, and then come to the conclusion if are we really a good match. And don't be afraid to tell your potential client that after this conversation, I don't think I am the best planner for you. Or encourage your potential client to tell you, after this conversation, I don't think you are the best planner for us. So you leave the conversation without any hard feelings. And I myself have experienced, after I said no to this potential client, they respect me for being so honest and respect me to actually have the boss to say no to the business, because I don't want to waste their time or their money and engage in a legal binding contract that we no longer have fun, peace, and joy while working together. So what happened when they had other friends and family, colleagues who is looking for event planner, and they feel that that person is a good fit for me, they refer me to that person. And then that person came to me and said that XYZ referred me to you because they think that our personality will work well and the way you work. So how can we do business together? And that's how I grow M2 Hospitality. Okay. And that's how I grow events for anyone. So does it work for everybody? No. But I would say that when you start being honest with yourself in your business and in your personal life, life becomes so much better. Okay. So I hope today's session, I went a little bit over because I started a little bit late because I just wasn't in a condition to come on to talk. So I hope that today's session gives you some insight. Again, don't forget to give me a heart and an emoji, to let me know you resonate with what I have spoken. And then just a reminder, our in-person event is sold out. No more tickets left for in-person event this coming Saturday. Only virtual event option is available. So if you are thinking of finding a one-day intensive workshop that is going to help you narrow down your business plan, narrow down your vision for the business, narrow down what services you want to offer, how to price those services, and also understand what it takes to be consistent on your social media and to charge what you want to charge, overcoming self-limiting beliefs, this workshop is for you. Okay, the virtual ticket is still available at $297. You get a digital workbook, and is virtual people, it starts from 9 to 5, and then with a break for lunch. In person starts from 8 to 5, but in person ticket are also out. So if this is what you want to do, send me a DM, send your concierge a DM, send me a message, and then I'll send you the link for the virtual option at $297. Thank you so much for your time today. For those of you who are inside my mentorship program, we are talking about self-love, how if you don't exercise self-love, it's going to sabotage your business and your personal life. And that is at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time Zone inside Zoom for the clients inside my mentorship program. For all of you, thank you so much for being patient with me about my tardiness, and I had to take some pause in between and dealing with my allergy and me scratching around. I appreciate you for your patience and your understanding. Those of you who's watching me on LinkedIn and YouTube, right, especially on YouTube, make sure that you go to the comments or the notes after the video to join my Facebook group so that you can come in and learn. And we have a whole ton of content inside our Facebook group. We have a vault that's going to help you start and grow your event planning business. And all these are free content. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. Bye.